Hello everyone, this is Kevin. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I want to walk through a bit of an extension to a conversation that I recently started around managing deployed printers in your GPOs. And contextually, from an SDM perspective, we're talking about a product we have called called the Group Policy Automation Engine. I'm also going to use at least one freeware commandlet that we provide in our GPMC commandlets called getSDMGPLink, which is super handy. Anyway, let me set the table. So from a contextual perspective, here's my story. I have an OU here called test OU. That OU has 4 GPOs linked to it. Each one of those GPOs have one or more printers configured through the deploy printers piece of group policy. There are some computer configuration based printers, there are some user based printers, but you can see every one of them in each one of these GPOs for this scenario are on a specific server. In this case it's called old server. Okay. My situation is I have new servers and I need to go through GPOs OU by OU, find the GPOs that are affecting users and update the printer name, update the server name for the printer. Okay, so this scenario is pretty clear. I think this story is probably pretty obvious. Let's get to work. Now, in a previous video, I talked about what we were providing with our Group Policy Automation Engine to connect to deployed printers. And, you know, that's an interesting bit. It's something that's pretty easy to get, but it takes some work. All right, so we provided with the Group Policy Automation Engine a toolkit, essentially some script functions, advanced functions that are designed to perform certain tasks. And that tries to simplify some of the core Group Policy Automation tasks that you may encounter. It was really intended to be a framework for you to take that and sort of build upon it to meet your individual business needs, and that's what I'm doing here. So I'm going to get into the guts of this in a second, but I want to just show you quickly what I've done. So if I look at I have a script here that I've created called move printer. Okay, and I'm just calling this script, I'm dot sourcing that script. And at the end of the day, it's probably something that you could have on hand because it's super handy. What it's done is it's essentially initialized that function. So I've created this advanced function called move printer. And I'm utilizing a couple different techniques in here, but at the end of the day, it behaves like a normal commandlet. So if I want to say get help, move printer, let's say parameter, scope, I can get help on parameters. Or server name, I can get help on that individual server name. If I want to look at examples, I have an example in there. I'll build on that and get more. But I wanted to design the advanced function so that it really behaved like a commandlet, so that it was super PowerShell-y, if you know what I mean. So scenario, just to call back on that, we have an OU with a bunch of GPOs linked to it. Each one of those GPOs has 0 to N printers in either user or computer configuration sections of the group policy object. So I'm going to say move printer. The scope is going to be OU equals test OU, DC equals psycho, DC equals local, and then my new server name I'm going to call new server name, new server. Okay. Simple. Now the first time I run this, because I'm initializing the toolkit, it takes a couple extra seconds, not too long. But I'm going to say move printer, here's the scope, the OU I want you to look at, here's the server name, And after it runs through its workings, I'll show you the results. Pretty easy though, right? I just want to move the printer associated with this OU. I'm going to refresh all of these. You notice that they say the server is old server. And now if I go through these one at a time, I'll see that they're all on the new server. So I went through, found each GPO, found the deployed printer settings in the computer config and updated them, found it in the user config and updated them. This is what it looks like. This is what I did here. So all of this top part is just advanced function stuff, right? I'm creating this move printer, my commandlet binding, here's my parameters, server name, scope. I'm adding a to-do here to add a switch parameter so that you could choose either the computer side or the user side or both. I haven't done that yet. It's work to be done. I'm not doing any pre-processing in the script. It's all happening here. I'm essentially saying, hey, using our freeware commandlet called getSTMGPLink, I'm finding all of the GPOs linked to the OU that you call in that -scope parameter. Now, I'm going to get a collection back, right? So there's going to be between 0 and n GPOs linked to a given OU, and this is just saying for every link that you come up with, for every object in that collection, do this. And this is, first step, this is part of the Group Policy Automation Engine Toolkit. First step is get a reference to the GPO. So link.name, or links the first item in that collection .name. And then I'm going to connect to the computers container section of the GPO, gpo.getObject, and here's the path to deployed printers, but I only want the name. So I'm saying .settings.name. So that's going to return to me the information that I want. So now this comp printers has what I need. So another loop, for every printer you find in this collection, do this. I call the GPO, I pipe it to set GP deployed printer. Again, that is a commandlet, an advanced function that's provided in GPAE as part of the toolkit. I call the node computer. It's part of what I'll do with this switch when I get to that. The printer is the first name, the first item in the collection, and the server name is the parameter that I gave. I finish that. I go through that loop for every printer in the collection of printers in the computer section. I do the same thing on the user side, and that's it. Okay? Really nice. It's an example of how you can use the toolkit and the automation engine and really pull it into your environment and meet your business requirements, whether it's project-based or whatever. It's going to be super helpful. So anyway, thanks for listening. Hope it was interesting. Talk to you soon.